All right, hi fourth graders, happy Tuesday. So today we're going to be talking about metric units of capacity. So yesterday we talked about length. So today we're going to talk about capacity. Capacity is the amount of liquid a container can hold. The liter and milliliter are units of measurement for capacity in the metric system. So today we're going to be looking at capacity. 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. And these are the objects that we're going to use to help us estimate today. A liter is about the size of a hydro flask. So I looked it up. A hydro flask holds 32 ounces, and a liter is about 34 ounces. So a liter is a tiny bit bigger than a hydro flask. A milliliter is the amount of liquid an eyedropper holds. So it's about 10 drops from an eyedropper. We're going to keep referring back to these to help us estimate. So here we are deciding whether 300 milliliters or 300 liters is the more reasonable estimate for the capacity of the mug. So we're going to use logic here, which means we're using what we already know. So 300 milliliters, 300 eyedroppers does seem reasonable for a mug this size, but 300 hydro flask bottles is way too much for a mug. So we know that 300 milliliters is the more logical explanation for the estimate. Now you'll notice the abbreviation for milliliters is a lowercase m and an uppercase L. Let's do another example. Decide whether 600 milliliters or 600 liters is the more reasonable estimate for the capacity of the swimming pool. So that's like a baby pool. The pool is a large object, so 600 milliliters doesn't make sense. It's just too small. Imagine sitting there with a dropper filling it up 600 times. That's pretty ridiculous, especially since we know that there are 1,000 of these droppers in a liter. So it makes more sense that it would be 600 liters. So about 600 Hydro Flask water containers. Now we have to circle the more reasonable estimate for each capacity. Here's this water bottle, 1 milliliter or 1 liter. I know that this water holds more than one eyedropper, and 1 liter, this water bottle looks similar to a hydro flask. The next one, a sink, 38 milliliters, which is 38 eyedrops, or 38 liters. Now a sink is bigger, so I'm going to go with liters here. It would be full and probably a clogged sink, but it could hold probably about 38 liters. Next is liquid hand soap. 220 liters is a lot of liquid for hand soap. Maybe that's how much you use in years and years and years, but there's no way that a container this size holds 220 liters. So I know the more reasonable estimate is 220 milliliters. Here's some more practice. Choose the most reasonable estimate for each capacity. All right, here we have a spoon. So I'm going to automatically eliminate the bigger measurement, liters, because this is a small object. Now think, could this fit 40 eyedroppers or 4? I know that 40 is way too much. It's just a spoon. Number 2, this is a big bucket. So I'm going to say that I'm going to eliminate the milliliters. And now I'm thinking, does it fit 10 hydro flasks or 100 hydro flasks? 10 is the more reasonable estimate for a bucket. Here we have a canteen that you use for either like coffee or soup. And I'm gonna, all of these are liters. So I need to think here. A canteen is about the size of a hydro flask water bottle. And so I see 1 liter here. I think 3 liters in that container would be way too much. So would 7 and so would 10. So since this is about the size of a hydro flask, I'm going to say 1 liter. And then a coffee cup, a small coffee mug. I'm going to eliminate the liter answers. And I'm thinking, does it fit 17 milliliters, 17 eyedroppers, or 170 eyedroppers? I could also refer back to this example. That was a bigger mug, and that was 300 milliliters. So I'm thinking 170 makes more sense. Your classwork today is to use these objects to help you estimate. So here you're circling the more reasonable estimate. You have 2 word problems. You need to match each object to its reasonable capacity, and you can use the line tool. You have a vocabulary check and a multiple choice question. If you need help with this assignment, the code word is hydro flask. So in the private comments, you need to put the word hydro flask, and your teacher will set up a Google Meet with you. Have a nice day.